Senegal Parrot versus a Cape Parrot in the Poicephalus family, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. These are both amazing parrot species from Africa. I love both species. I've had both species. I have Capes. Cape Parrots are my favorite species. Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of The Parrot Bliss Bond and the new book, 30 Perfect Apartment Parrots, so you could pick the right one for your blissful bond. If you want to check out my books, go to KB Raphael on Amazon, look me up. And in the meantime, it is my bliss to share with you about parrots so that hopefully you can have the most blissful bond, minimizing the need for rescues and rehoming. Senegal versus Cape Parrot. Number one, huge difference, the price. A Senegal parrot's going to be in the neighborhood of $2,000. You might get lucky and get one for a little less. You might be paying $2,500, $3,000. $3,000 might be a little high, but it does depend on the age of the Senegal, and it also depends on your location. Like here in the US, we pay more for parrots than I think anyone in the world. At least that's my understanding. And then depending on where you are in the US, the prices vary as well because, it depends on whether or not they're easy to come by. And Senegals are phenomenal, and so are Cape Parrots. So Senegals, like I said, you're looking at, I'm going to say like probably $2,000 to $3,000. A Cape Parrot, you're looking at probably like $4,000 to $6,000. Again, it depends on the age and it depends on where you live. So that is a first big, huge, significant difference. The second big difference I'm going to say is going to be in their size. Cape Parrots are going to be in the neighborhood of 300 grams. The females might be a little less. Juveniles tend to be a little lighter, just like humans. The teenagers tend to be lighter than the adults. And the males might tend to be a little heavier, so they can go up from there. But you're looking around 300 grams. Like, you're not going to have a 600 gram Senegal. That would be crazy. That would be like 2. Cape Parrot. You're not going to have a Cape Parrot that big. Whereas a Senegal Parrot, if memory serves me correctly, you're looking at about half the weight, maybe 150, maybe a little more. And I don't have a Senegal anymore, so I don't weigh them anymore, so I don't remember. But they are a smaller parrot. So that's a really big difference. Number 2, you are looking at about twice the size. And you're also looking at about 2 or 3 times the beak. This is Max. Max is my 1 in a million. Come here, Maximilian. Come here, step up. He's like, I don't want to. I want to stay right here. I want you to show off your big beak. Oh, look at that big beak. Both of these species, look at that, are really sexually dimorphic. So that's going to be a similarity where if you know what to look for, you can tell the difference between a male and a female. On the Senegals, their little V on their chest that's colored is going to tell you whether they're male or female. I don't remember exactly. I think I might have done a video on it. The males, the coloring is going to go deeper, like you're going to see that V longer, and the females, it's shorter, if memory serves me. If not, it might be the other way around. That is not like 100% clear, but it is a really good indicator. With Cape Parrots, when they are over about 8 months, something like that, you could tell the difference because of course Max, as you could see, he doesn't have orange on his head. I call it like a salmon color, or you could call it a coral color, and I call it a chapeau because it kind of looks like a hat. It looks like a French beret. The females are going to have that, but they are all born with it. So when they're babies, males and females have it, and then the males lose it, and Max has lost it. He used to have a few little orange, I don't think he even has those anymore. He's growing up on me. So that is a similarity. The third and most distinct difference is also in their diet. These are both birds that similarly are going to need fresh vegetables. And you also want to give some beta carotene rich vegetables like carrots and sweet potatoes. They are both parrots that should have a pellet-based diet, which means, most of their diet is pellets. And then on top of that, the Cape Parrots, that monster beak, it's made for opening nuts. So they should have about a 1/4 cup of nuts. In the wild, they eat, I forget the name of the tree, a yellow flower tree or something like that. And of course, we don't have it here. And, but basically they need the nut fat. Now, I will point out that a Cape Parrot is one of 3 species. There's a gray-hooded and a brown-necked, I believe. And in the U.S., we only have really a hybrid of these two. We don't really, my experts have told me, I'm like, well, what exactly do I have? And they're like, you really have a hybrid. So we call them Cape Parrots because they're really, it's just sort of the name that we use for them. And so that's kind of what they're known as, is a Cape Parrot. So technically, though, it is not the Cape Parrot species. But visually, unless you're trained and you know how to see the difference, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They look pretty much the same, and they have that chapeau for the females, that kind of thing. Now, when it comes to personality, which is probably one of your biggest questions, I think that they're similar. I have found that Senegals can have the propensity to be a one-person parrot, which can be problematic. That aside, these are both species that are kind of chill, kind of easygoing, which is really nice because they don't freak out easily and go rah and fly off kind of thing. They're pretty mellow. They're kind of solid, just like safe and secure in themselves. Phenomenal species, very interested in people, very affectionate. I have not had any problems when I put 2 Cape Parrots together, a male and a female in the same cage. With Senegals, that can be a problem. If you're going to put a male and a female together in the same cage, and I don't know, maybe the same would be true for 2 males or 2 females, you want to really make sure your cage is bigger because the males and the females, they don't necessarily like bond and really get along and hang out together. So it's something to look out for. You need to make sure that they have plenty of space. So Senegals will actually socialize and bond more with humans in a way than they will with other Senegals. During mating season, they'll come together with their mate kind of thing. But outside of mating season, they're a little solo when it comes to the birds. My Senegals, the male, he used to hang out with some other male birds, like hang out on top of a cage with my Amazon and my lovebird at the time. And, there were like 4 of them just hanging out on top of the cage. I did not see them preen each other. I did not see them doing things that made me think they were bonded, but they really liked being a flock and like they just hung out together. My female, she kind of did the same thing, but she didn't hang out as much with them. She was more bonded to me, so she would hang out more with me. So, like I said, it's kind of interesting. Like, they like having other parrots around, but it does not mean that they're going to super bond. But I do find that they super bond with people. They love people. Cape Parrots, I don't find problems with them. Oh, you didn't. Ugh, master jewelry breakers. I don't find that they fight with each other. I find Cape Parrots to be very peaceful, which I'm really grateful for with that big beak. And they do bond with some other parrots. Sometimes they do find a best friend in, or a mate, within another Cape Parrot, which is their first choice, or sometimes another species. My Cape Parrots always love my golden conures. Everybody loves my golden conures, which is my other favorite species of parrot. So when it comes to a Senegal, you're going to have less, you're not going to need quite as much space because it's a smaller bird, and their diet is not going to require you to add nuts to your budget, because with a Cape Parrot, you really have to add nuts to your budget. Don't do it again, okay? I fixed it. Leave it. I love both species. I do not think you can go wrong with either one. If you do get a Senegal, make sure that you don't socialize them to just one person. Make sure that they learn to socialize with many people, because otherwise they wind up starting to attack people. Like, they're like, this is my human. You can't come to my human. And I don't really find Cape Parrots do this, which is nice. And then you have problems because that Cape Parrot has to be in their cage. If you have someone else like in the family, a spouse or something, or a child, then they can't be around each other because the Senegal will attack them. And, that's just not a good thing. So if you have a Senegal, make sure that you socialize them to everyone, teach them just by letting other people handle them, letting other people connect with them, letting other people play with them, that kind of thing. I hope that is awesome for helping you decide whether you can afford a Cape Parrot. I mean, the price is just really up there. But seriously, whether you might prefer a Senegal, a little smaller, a little easier in that sense, or a Cape Parrot, a little bigger, needs a little bit of a bigger cage, needs a bigger food budget. Thanks, and I will catch you in the next blissful video. Make sure to give me one of these and a comment below. That helps my juice. And if you are looking for a perfect apartment parrot, those are 2 out of my 30 species in my new book, 30 Perfect Apartment Parrots, which you can get on Amazon. The link's below. Check it out.